So you want to hoop the stabilizer, not the pillowcase. It'll work faster that way. So you're going to pop out that middle piece and loosen and tighten it here. You're then going to take the sticky stabilizer with the side that has the writing on it. The piece that came from inside of the hoop, you're going to lay it down on top. You don't need to have it straight or anything. You're going to hang on to it, and you're going to push that down into the hoop. If it doesn't go down easily, you just got to loosen that up. And then when you hoop it, you want to make sure that you loosen that up. You want to make sure that you're pushing that inside piece all the way to the bottom of the hoop. Then you're going to retighten that. Doesn't have to be super tight. You want that to be somewhat taut, like a drum. Now you need to get that sticky part out. So just open a scissors and just lightly score it enough that you can pull. It's like contact paper, basically. You can pull that backing off. And you do it this way because if you take the backing paper off first and then hoop it, you end up like really gunking up the hoops. And then you just pull it out like that. When you're ready to embroider, I always just iron this part, and then I fold it in half and just get a good crease there. And that's just so that I can easily line it up. So there's the opening. You want to make sure when you're hooping it that this is the part that actually snaps into the machine, is on the inside. And here's where I just eyeball it, because you have, it might be hard to see in the video, but there's a little triangle that shows the midpoint of this hoop. So you're just going to line the midpoint up with your iron mark. And what I found worked best is to leave about that much space at the bottom, because there's the hoop. It's going to put it in the middle, so it will put the name in a good spot. You're also going to want to stick a couple pins in on the ends just to hold that in place, because you're embroidering through a double layer of fabric and it can shift while it's on the machine. You don't want that to happen. And now it's ready to go on the machine, so what you'll end up doing is kind of flipping this all out of the way so that you can see where you're snapping it in, and then you're just going to fold everything back over, and then the machine will do it. So the bobbins, I would continue to buy the pre-wound bobbins. Bobbin thread for an embroidery machine is actually thinner than the regular embroidery thread. It does show you the thread path on here, so you want the thread pulling off of this side. You're just going to drop it in there, and then, I'm not sure if we can see this, then we're going to follow that thread path, and then there's a little cutter in there, and then it will cut off the end of that. So now you just put that back in, and your bobbin's ready to go. Top threading, it is going to show you the thread path. Spool goes on there. That's your first point of contact underneath there. Back behind there. You're going to come down. Number 3. So here's the thing, if it keeps pulling, because it's pulling off the spool, and you end up wasting a lot, you can just hang on to that top part so it doesn't keep threader. So you want to make sure you're going through that last hook there, up through this metal part around that 7, and then over to the side is that little cutter. It's marked number 8. Go ahead and cut it off, and then this lever here is what you push down. So you have your tail hanging there, push down, and your needle is threaded. You just have to pull it the rest of the way through. So the machine's threaded. Now it's time to get your hoop on the machine. That's the part that's going to snap right on there. So I'm going to flip everything forward. You want to slide everything underneath, make sure the presser foot is raised. And it's going to snap right in. Now you have to work that fabric back over. And the machine is ready. It's ready to embroider. Now this is red because we haven't chosen any stitches. This will turn green when you're ready to go. And you want to lower your presser foot. Choose that. Font number 4 or whatever number is chosen. We're going to put one letter in. It's going to default to the large size. Just press medium. If it's a long name, press small. After you type in the letters, we're going to have to tell it to rotate the design, because right now it thinks that we want to embroider this way when we want to embroider that way. So we're going to need to rotate it 90 degrees. So we're going to spell out the whole name. And to get to this, the rest of the alphabet, you're back down to this button. That's what we want. So we're going to say set. And there's the rotate button. You want to rotate it that way 90 degrees. We can see it move the whole thing. Okay. Everything looks good. And edit. Now, if I say embroidery, basically I'm telling the machine I'm ready to embroider. So now I'm going to go over here and lower the presser foot. You see how that turned from red to green? It's telling me, okay, you're ready to go. I press the button, the machine does the rest.